Okay, so welcome to Data Science 200. I'm Matt Husky. Here is our Canvas course page here. What I want to do is show you around the stuff that's in here and talk about the syllabus and give you some idea of how the course is going to work. So if you want to follow along with me here, I'm going to go to the syllabus. There should be a tab on the left side where you can pull that up. And here is the syllabus itself. So, like I said, this is Data Science 200. You have to have completed college algebra to make it to this course. Our meeting time when we're back on campus, if that's the room I'm thinking of, I'm almost positive that is a computer lab. It would be very silly for them to put us in a non-computer lab, but that should be the right room. So I'm Matt Husky. If you ever need to get in touch with me, this is my email address right there. A couple things I want to point out about it. Please make sure that you spell my last name correctly. I know that there are people who have the name Husky and they spell it Huskey. Mine is spelled exactly like the breed of dog, so it's just Mhusky. Because my name is so short, they also put a 1 at the end of it. So if you're trying to get in touch with me via email, just make sure that you just quickly double check and make sure that you've got the right email address. I've had students over the years who have sent me email messages and then wonder why I never got back to them. And the most likely culprit is the fact that for some reason they're spelling my last name wrong. So it's just Husky, Mhusky, 1. As far as the office hours, I just posted the Zoom link for you all in Canvas as an announcement. So there's a Zoom link that I'm going to use every single time. So if you ever want to meet with me during my office hours, it's going to be from noon to 1 on Mondays and Wednesdays. And it's just going to be the same link over and over again every single time. As far as our class goes as well, we theoretically are going to start meeting on campus this coming Friday. If for whatever reason you cannot come personally, I will also link into Zoom during the course session. And so you can join via Zoom. I will theoretically be in the classroom as well. And so you can show up in person, you can show up via Zoom. And I'm going to use the same Zoom link that you used just now for each and every course. So just keep that handy. It's in the announcements page for our class. Just use that same Zoom link. And that'll be the same one we use every single class period. So overall, this is going to give you an introduction into some of the general processes of statistics. There's going to be particular emphasis on using the programming language Python. This is kind of a gentle introduction to the Python programming language. Maryville also has an intro to Python course as well, but this one's kind of a step back, and it basically kind of assumes you don't have much background in programming, like, at all. From what I'm told, the intro to Python class is maybe a step up from that, because it does start you with Python, but it kind of assumes you have a general understanding of programming already. This is gently taking you into the shallow end as opposed to tossing you into the deep end, let's just say. But anyway, there's kind of a laundry list of a bunch of the different things in Python that we're going to look at. You can kind of read that on your own time. Some of it may not make a whole lot of sense to you right now, but just so you know, this is the stuff that our class is going to cover. Here's kind of a general overview of kind of the breakdown of hours of work. So here's kind of the breakdown of the grade. So there are points devoted to discussions. If you're running into a problem, each project has its own devoted discussion board. I think there's 7 projects in total, and then there's also the discussion that you're just supposed to introduce yourself. And I've noticed a couple of you have already gone ahead and done that, which is great. That's an easy 5 points to earn for participating in the discussion. And so as you're doing the course projects, if you get stuck or have a question, the discussion board for that project is there, and you can put out something there where you can ask me a question, you can ask a question just to your peers, and then before I jump in, I do want to give people, your classmates, an opportunity to kind of jump in and maybe answer each other's questions. And so you will get points for participating in the discussions, either posting a question or posting an answer to someone else's question. I would ask that the discussion posts try to be substantive. So, you know, don't post something on the discussion board for the sake of doing it, but post some sort of substantive question about how you might do something, or post something where you're offering assistance to your classmates. Also, basically every other week, there's going to be a quiz over the set of topics that we've just been covering. There's basically 7 broad units, 7 big chunks of information that we're going to cover over the course of the semester. So each of them has a discussion, each of them has a quiz, and then each of them has a project or homework assignment that you are expected to complete. At the end of the class, there will be a final exam. And then also at the end of the class, there's going to be a final project, and it'll be a much larger project that will ask you to draw upon the different kind of skills and techniques that we've covered over the entirety of the semester. Let's see here. You got the grading scale right there. So let's have a discussion about attendance. This is kind of the general official policy, attendance policy for the university. But let's talk about how attendance is going to work, especially because this is probably going to be one of the weirdest semesters in history. Here's the first thing I'm going to say concerning the issue of attendance. I am going to design this class so that you can pretty much you can complete everything without necessarily having to physically occupy a chair in a classroom at a certain time of day. So you could theoretically not see me in person this whole semester. I've had students reaching out to me both here and at other places that, you know, they have concerns about, they have health concerns about actually coming to campus. And just be aware, I'm making this class that you can complete it entirely online. During our normal class sessions, starting Friday, I will hopefully start coming to campus. I'll be in the computer lab. I will also, during those specifically scheduled times, Wednesday, Friday at 9:30, I will be on Zoom. You can join the same Zoom link you used this morning. And that'll be an opportunity for you to ask me questions, work on the class projects, and get help from me. Or, you can post things on the discussion board and try to get help from each other as well. Let me go ahead and open up the modules here. So if you're in Canvas, you can click on the modules link. And let me kind of show you in more detail what I'm talking about and let you know kind of how this class is set up. So if you go, there's kind of this general stuff here. I'm going to go down to this first set of the actual content here. This is data science introduction, and it's got stuff about Python, expressions, and data types. So if you open up the first thing's just like a header, it's not actually a link here. But if you go to the introduction overview, this kind of gives you a summary of the kinds of things that we're going to talk, that are going to be the topic for that particular unit. Each unit is supposed to be like 2 weeks. So you've got kind of this laundry list of stuff. There's also links to things you can read about the Python programming language. And then if you go to the next thing, here's kind of what pretty much the entire course is going to look like. So, and actually this is maybe not the best example, because what I'm really looking for is something with computer code and video, because that's what most, so maybe we can go down to this thing here. Let's go to Python tuple. That's maybe a good example. Okay, so once it decides to load here, so on the vast majority of the module pages, what you will have is a video you can watch of me going over different Python code and showing you the Python platform, how to use it, and going over the example code. Underneath the video, there's like some sort of general explanation here. Anything that's actual computer code will be set apart in these kind of grayish boxes here. And you should be able to just copy and paste this code and put it into the Python program and actually have it run this code and see how it works. So pretty much the entire course is out there. Like I said, you've got video of me showing you the program, showing you the sample code. When we meet in the classroom or when we meet via Zoom, I'm not going to necessarily take time to deliver a lecture to you. You can spend that time, the official class time, watching the videos, maybe taking some notes, following along with the code yourself. And for class time, whether you come in person, whether you come via Zoom, the goal for that is to give you an opportunity to interact with me directly and ask me questions and get help. You can watch all these videos outside of class, that's fine. You can spend your time during class watching these videos, but when I'm in the classroom and during our session Zoom meetings, I'm not going to have anything in particular planned that I'm going to do. I've already put all this stuff out there for you. So my main goal for when we meet in the classroom or via Zoom is to give you a chance to ask me questions, interact with me. If there's something that's specifically giving you problems. So going back to the syllabus and talking about attendance. So as far as the attendance is concerned, you basically just have to convince me that you are regularly and actively participating in the class. One way to do that is you can show up to the classroom. You can log into Zoom regularly during our normal sessions. You know, you can ask me questions. Another way to do that, in Canvas, I am able to open up and look. I can see when you logged in. I can see how long you worked. I can see what it was that you worked on and submitted. I can see when you logged off. If you show up to class Wednesday, 9:30 like normal, that's fine. If I see that you logged in Monday evening, worked like straight for 4 hours, completing the project and stuff, whatever it is, I just need to be able to look and be convinced that you're making it happen, you're getting stuff done, you're watching the videos, you're taking the notes, you're finishing the projects, you're taking the quizzes on Canvas. So if I can be convinced that you're engaging with the material online, in person, at the same time, at odd hours of the night, whatever it is, I just need to be convinced that you're working hard and making it happen. For late work, each of the assignments does have a deadline. Please make sure to complete those in a timely fashion. If something comes up, don't hesitate to email me, reach out to me. You know, if you're sick or something, we can work around that. But do your level best to make sure that things are completed in a timely fashion. When I've done traditional online courses, I have had students they basically do no work for like 14 weeks, and then they decide that over 2 weekends in December, they're going to power through and complete an entire semester's worth of work in like 2 weekends, which I do not recommend doing. So here you've got the course schedule. It's got kind of an outline of the stuff that you're going to do. So you've got kind of the different topics here. You've got like homework assignments. There's projects. We'll have a midterm exam. We'll have a final exam. But this is kind of a breakdown of the schedule. And then you can kind of go by the timeline of the due dates of the assignments in Canvas, and that'll kind of give you a good idea of how to pace things. Generally speaking, like I said, each big broad unit of the modules is kind of designed to be roughly 2 weeks. So like this first one here, Data Science Introduction. This is the first big broad module. The first project is due September 4th. So that's basically a week from Friday. So you've basically got 2 weeks to do the first project. There's also a discussion board there that is for September 4th. And then I haven't opened it yet, but there's also going to be a quiz. And this is probably a good time to talk about how the quizzes will work. We're not going to spend class time for you to like sit and complete a quiz during class. You could do it during our normal session times. That's kind of up to you. But the quizzes, you're going to have a window of time to complete them. So I might open it on like a Sunday night, and you'll have to have it completed by Friday night. And the first one's going to be next week. And so it's largely up to you when you finish that quiz. You could do it first thing Monday morning. You could do it right before it's due Friday night. You could do it Thursday afternoon. You could do it Wednesday in the middle of the night. It's not a big deal to me when it happens. The important thing is that you do complete it. And with the quizzes, you do need to finish it in one sitting, and it will have a time limit. The other thing I will say about the quizzes, it is fair game for you to use notes while you take the quiz. That having been said, what that means, when you watch these videos, like here's another one here, strings and substrings. While you watch this sample video, I would strongly encourage you to take notes while you watch it. What would probably be a good idea, especially if you're using like Windows, you can open up Notepad and have like a text file of the computer code. So like you can open up Notepad here and you can have just a running thing of this one here. You can copy and paste the code over. And you could even put in like a comment where you say the pound sign or hashtag, depending on how old you are. I still tend to call it the pound sign. So you could do a hashtag, and this could be like example strings. And then you could do another one. The next one is substrings. And like you could copy this in here. And you could just have kind of like a running Notepad text file of all the text there. And then you could do comments of just notes to yourself. This is a string, which is blah, blah, blah. You know, you can do whatever you like for your notes, but what I would encourage you to do, take notes in a text file, save all the code, put in comments, put in your own comments, kind of describing and organizing what you have. And then, like I said, having good notes will be a great resource for you so that you can go through your notes, and then it's perfectly legal to use those when you take the quiz on the first module here. I think, in my opinion, that's a much better way to do that, since you will have a time limit, since you will have to finish it in one sitting. Having good notes will be helpful. That way you can save time and you won't have to be hunting through like 8 or 10 different videos and trying to find the exact right spot in the video where I talk about that one thing. You can just have your own notes there that you can use as a resource during the quiz. So that's kind of how the modules are set up. That's kind of how the quizzes are going to work. And so, like I said, this first one that I've already got published there for you, this is going to be for the first 2 weeks. You'll have a project that has to be completed by a week from Friday. And we can kind of open that up here. And so it's got a Python data file for you. And then it's got like the instructions, and then it's got like questions that you're supposed to answer here. And this goes along with the kinds of things that you did during the examples there. So let's see. Let's go back to the syllabus here. So I think that's kind of the main things that I wanted to talk about here. So Canvas is going to be kind of one-stop shopping for anything and everything that you possibly want to know. Let's go ahead and look at this here as well. If you're meeting with us, if you're going to meet with me on campus, the computers in the computer lab where they've got us do have Anaconda is its name. Anaconda is a computer platform that lets you, it actually does a couple different programming languages, but Python in particular is the one that we're going to be using. And so I kind of go over in this video here of how to actually go through this process. If you're wanting to do things on your own home computer, that's perfectly fine. I've got the download link for you to follow. When I'm done talking here, that might be a good place for you all to start. Try to download it on your own machine and get Python installed and get it up and running. And then once you're able to do that, you can then follow along with the modules and try doing the sample code yourself. So that would be a good place to start here. So if you look here, that's under that's near the very top where it's got Anaconda installation. That would be a good place for you all to start.
I got a question.
Yes.
So is it something we need to complete the assignment, for example?
Yeah, so you are definitely going to need to have Anaconda to complete the assignment, because this is basically a computer programming class. You need to have the program to actually run the computer code.
Okay.
Now, if you go to the computer lab, Walker 220 is like where our class is set to meet. If you go to the computer lab, like during class sessions, all of those machines have Anaconda on them already.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Yeah, I would really suggest getting Anaconda installed on your own machine, because I can't guarantee, and with COVID virus stuff, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna close campus again like they did last spring. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. And even though we do have time like reserved to be in the computer lab, you might need extra time just beyond that window. So having Anaconda installed on your own machine, I would say, is a must.
All right. That
Fair
makes
enough?
sense. Yeah.
So yeah, you're definitely going to want that, because since we're doing computer programming, having a way to type in and run the computer code is something that you're going to want to do. So, are there other questions? All right. I'll go ahead and stop the recording here. And then, like I said, I'll go ahead and post that recording on Canvas, and you can go back and reference it later.